Hello, this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Aging Like a Guru. Who, me? Yes, you and me and everyone else who's here on this great adventure. So many years ago, you've probably heard this before. People would ask the question, what would you do if you couldn't fail? And at the time, what showed up for me, and I just kind of went in, I could have, I started with, maybe I would get married if I couldn't fail again. I'd been divorced twice. I've been divorced twice. Maybe I'd start a new business. Maybe I would get a new dog. I don't know. There was just all those kinds of things. And so I settled in and I thought, in this state of where there's no failure possible, what's that like? So I found myself in this imagining in the middle of the ocean, sailing a boat all by myself. And the thought I would sail around the world came in, and it was astonishing to me because it never occurs to me on my side. Even though I love sailing, I sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. I actually did a dissertation on sailing as a transformational experience and taught sailing in the San Francisco Bay. So my life was, immersed in sailing in my 40s. I really didn't have any interest in sailing around the world by myself. It was just like not that. But here it was. It showed up in my adventure and my thought of what I'd do if I couldn't fail. And part of it comes up today in terms of this podcast because this podcast is about aging, and aging is an adventure, if you will. It's a way of going through. We're going through this adventure of our life, and we're having circumstances and opportunities and challenges that would, in a sense, we can't fail on an adventure. That's part of the adventure, is you're going to meet things that are challenging to you, but most people don't take those as failures, but they're able to see, here's an opportunity to see how I see this. And if I see myself as a failure, what's the point of going on an adventure? This morning, as I was thinking about this podcast and imagining, traveling as an adventure, I again found myself in the middle of the ocean, feeling very calm and peaceful. Because a lot of people who think about aging and retire, they intend on doing traveling. So it was like, how would I travel? Like, what would that be like for me? Because I actually hate all the details. I hate all the possibilities of what can go wrong. I hate all the decision making of where to go, where to stay, where to eat. I hate all of that. And so I don't travel much. I love being home in my little Orcas abode. And, that's what I like because I hate all of the details. But in this moment, again, I found myself fearlessly enjoying this moment in the ocean on a cruise ship this time. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And this cruise ship, it was like, wow, I would like to sail around the world. And a cruise ship is a way to do that. And I actually Googled how to do that. It's like there are cruise ships that offer, a year-long adventure around the world, or 6 months. And I thought, 6 months would be great. So it was kind of cool to see that maybe that's a possibility for me to fearlessly, without failure, take this adventure. So what's the point of all this? The point of all this is that each of us has an opportunity to see that aging is an adventure. And and I wrote, the title of this is, what would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail or couldn't fail? I would age. I would age as an adventure. Like, today, what's going to show up for me? What opportunities or what challenges are going to show up? And what will I find inside myself that's going to support me through this process? I did sail across the Atlantic. I just mentioned that earlier. And it was 3 weeks on this boat. It was a 93-foot schooner sailboat. And I did that with 6 other people. And quite often, the ocean it took 3 weeks and there's no stops. There's just keep going until you get to the other side. But there was a part of me that kept imagining I would want to get off. I did want to get off in the middle. And so I would imagine myself, tying up to some dock in the middle of the ocean and getting off because I didn't want to be on this adventure anymore. It just wasn't, I got depressed or I got sad or I got scared. I didn't want to do it anymore. But there's something called the wisdom of no escape, in the sense that as long as we're in these bodies, or as long as we're on a boat or in a vehicle, there's no place to get off except when we choose to get off. Suicide is a way of getting off, or living the adventure through to the very end is when you get off. So there's parts of these adventures where we do want to get off. We do want to get out of this thing, and we do want to get out of the messes. We want something to come and, like the adventure stories, Indiana Jones, for instance. It's like somehow miraculously something happens, or Star Wars, all these different adventures of each and every one of us that is portrayed in movies. We sometimes just want to magically be lifted out of the disasters of the situation, or what appears to be a disaster. So that we can feel safe again and comfortable. That's why I would rather sail on a cruise ship for 6 months across, around the world, than for 4 years probably, getting into storms and getting into ports that are not comfortable, or, where to find groceries and all of those kinds of things. I'd rather just get on a cruise ship and go that way, perhaps someday, maybe. But the idea is I have options. And even on a cruise ship, there would be times where I'd want to get off, or where I don't like the people around me, or I don't like the food, or whatever it is, complaints that I have. The point of some of these adventures is there's the wisdom of no escape. And how do I be, or how do you be in any one of the adventures of your life? So if we saw that in the aging process, the aging process is a vehicle through which we're living the reality of our being human, we have an opportunity to see the wisdom of no escape, to say, okay, I'm in it. And so who am I in here? How do I be with me as we go through these adventures? The decline of our physical well-being, the relationships we are in with our children, with our parents, perhaps. Maybe we're in our 70s and we've got parents in our 90s. The environment we live in, the health care we need or don't need, all of those elements of the adventure is part of what shows up for us. My intention here, I have to look at this. Excuse me. My deepest my deepest intent for sharing my thoughts with you through these podcasts is to offer a different frame of reference, a different lens, perhaps a different interpretation through which you see yourself while you're in this adventure of your life, and being more at choice about what you want as this adventure. What is it you want to experience? How do you want to be fearless? Or do you want to hold on to your fears? Do you make choices from, even though I'm not afraid to travel, I've gone to Moscow, I've gone to Bali, I've sailed, like I said, around the world, and not around the world, I sailed across the Atlantic, but sailed through the Caribbean and all kinds of places that are interesting. So I'm not afraid of travel. I am just don't want to deal with details. That's just who I am. So how do I make decisions, or how do you make decisions do you make decisions based on fear, or actually the delight that you want in your life? What feels exquisitely delightful and yummy and awesome to you? Is that partnership? Is that something you want? Partnership, and that's where you feel like you want to engage as an adventure while you're on adventure. It's all up to you. So again, my intention is to give you an opportunity to see that each day provides you with moments where you choose to feel the fear and retreat into your safety, or in that moment of fear, do you choose something else? Do you choose to say, I'm going to try it anyway? Or I'm just going to see how scared I am, but I'm not really going to do anything, but I'm not going to retreat either. All of these opportunities, all these moments are opportunities to adventure into knowing yourself and enjoying yourself and stretching yourself to who you really want to be in this lifetime. This is one opportunity to do that, and I really just want to encourage you to consider the possibilities of doing that. You don't have to, but you can if you want. All right, that's pretty much it for today. Big hugs to you, blessings. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to speak about. Feel free to go to the website, theparadigmshifts.com, and check things out. My videos, books, blogs, me, coaching possibilities, all of it is there for you. All right, big hugs, blessings. Bye for now.